DIY scrunchies using two different methods. First is sewing and the second is with a no-sew method. If you make your own scrunchies, make sure to tag me on Instagram at Elisabeth Acrylic because I'd love to see them. Grab your craft supplies and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start off with the no-sew scrunchie, and you're just going to need some sort of fabric. I'm using scrap fabric here, but you can also use fabric from an old pair of leggings or something like that. Now you're going to measure your fabric so that you have a piece of fabric that's around 3.5 inches by 17 inches. For this, I'm using a pen that disappears when you wash it, and you can use any sort of pencil that's meant for marking. Now, just grab your craft scissors and cut out your fabric rectangle. Now we're ready to start gluing our scrunchie together, so you're just going to want to squeeze a line of hot glue along one of the shorter ends of your fabric, and then bring the other side over to meet it, and make sure you're doing this with the right side of the fabric. Now again, just grab your craft scissors and cut off any extra you may have on the end. For the next part, you're going to need a jar or like some sort of round object like a cup or something, and you're going to want to place your fabric around it, and then you're going to want to put a rubber band around it, and then just pull the fabric through so that the rubber band is right in the middle. Now it's time to glue our scrunchie together. I'm going to use hot glue for this, and you're just going to want to fold under the top edge of your fabric and apply some hot glue there, and fold the edge over the bottom, and then just hold them together so that you create a seam with the hot glue. And you're just going to want to keep doing this all the way around the scrunchie until your scrunchie is complete. Let the hot glue harden completely, and then if you have any little spots on the outside, you can just grab off the hot glue chunks. And now you're all done with your no-sew scrunchie. Now for the sew scrunchie, I'm using this fabric that I cut from an old pair of leggings. You're going to want to line up the fabric like this with the wrong side facing outwards and pin it in place so that we can start sewing. The first thing with sewing is you want to make sure this little part, it's called the foot, is up, and then you can stick your scrunchie in under the foot, and then you're going to want to lower that down. Also make sure that these threads are over to the side like this. Now you can start sewing, and you're just going to want to sew up almost to the pin. And then now I'm going to grab another pin and pin off the next section of my scrunchie, and then I'm going to just sew a little bit further to this first pin here, and then I will take the pin out. Now you're just going to want to repeat the same step until you're all the way around the scrunchie by repeatedly sewing and pinning. When you've sewed all the way around your scrunchie, you're going to want to turn the wheel on the side of your sewing machine so that the needle is in the up position, and then you can lift up the foot of your sewing machine, pull your scrunchie back, and then there's a little nick on the back behind where the needle is, and that you can use to cut your thread. Okay, now back to my desk. Oh, in these clips you can see Spike. He's my little plant baby. Isn't he so cute? Anyways, you're going to want to snip off the extra threads of your scrunchie. And now we're just going to want to grab it, and then we're going to cut off all of this little extra outside of the seam, so that it doesn't get too bulky inside of it. Now we're going to turn our scrunchie inside out. This takes a little while, but it's really not that hard. Now take one of the inside edges of your scrunchie and fold it in on itself. You're going to do the same thing to both edges, and then you're going to pull one of the edges around the other one, and make sure to pull them a little bit farther than you think you need to be so that they can be sewn together and that they don't come apart, because then you will be sewing all the way through all of your layers of fabric. And then you're just going to want to pin these together. Now we're going to sew together on this line, and we're going to do the same things we did before sewing. So lower the foot down onto your scrunchie and then start sewing down, sew until the pin, and take your pins out as you sew. You're going to sew as close as you can to your rubber band, and then you're going to bring the needle again into that up position, release the foot, and then you're going to take your scrunchie out and cut your threads on the back of your sewing machine again. Now, lastly, you're just going to grab your scissors again, and you're going to cut off all your loose threads as close as you can to your finished scrunchie. And now you're all done, and you can wear your scrunchie. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it some love by hitting that thumbs up button. Comment down below what videos you'd like to see on my channel in the future. And lastly, subscribe to join the fun, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next video. See you then. Mahalo!